Hey guys, Captain Big Tuna here, and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. Today we're going to be talking about the recent patch that just got put through, as well as changes to Legends coming up at the start of Season 1. I have put the link for all the patch notes down in the description below. And to start, we're first going to talk about Respawn's philosophy as far as how frequent they're going to be making these patches. It says in the notes here that our goal is to make less frequent, better tested, higher impact changes so it minimizes the effects on your time spent mastering a particular mechanic, weapon, character. You shouldn't have to read our patch notes every few days just to keep up with how characters and weapons are now work. I think this is a great philosophy. They're not going to be throwing out updates every week like Fortnite is. They're not going to be making drastic meta changes and not even giving people enough time to learn new mechanics before throwing new mechanics in there, or changing mechanics, or just changing the meta drastically. For example, throwing in the sword and Fortnite, if you guys are familiar with that. The biggest takeaway I have from that is better tested, higher impact changes. So they want these changes to be polished when they are put through. They want them to have a drastic impact, not to hype up all of these patches that they're throwing in. They want their changes to actually mean something and better the game overall, and I really think it's a great approach that they're taking. So the patch notes mainly address weapon balancing as well as balancing to Legends. We'll start out with weapon balancing first. They state here that they feel that the current weapon presets are pretty solid for a variety of different players and their skill sets, and to this I agree with. I find myself many games changing up the two guns that I'm carrying. I'm not always looking for one gun consistently. I find myself trying to mix and match different weapons together to see how they fit together. There's not just one gun that everybody's searching for like you see in some other Battle Royale games. However, they do address that there are two weapons that needed a little bit of a nerf, and that is the Wingman and the Peacekeeper. We're going to start with the Wingman first. Here are the changing statistics for that. So to start, rate of fire has been reduced from 3.1 to 2.6 shots per second. Pretty self-explanatory there. Skull Piercer headshot damage multiplier has been reduced from 2.5 to 2.25. Just two fairly small nerfs. I think overall they are needed. And the final change to the Wingman is increasing the base hip fire spread and decreasing the rate at which the hip fire spread decays. So essentially, you're not going to be able to hip fire the Wingman very accurately. The spread's going to continue to increase, and it's not going to get smaller and smaller the more you hip fire. The other gun that they changed is the Peacekeeper. Throwing up those statistics on the screen right now. So essentially, we see the big change happening to the way the Peacekeeper interacts with the shotgun bolt attachment. What the shotgun and bolt attachment does for the Peacekeeper is it increases the rechamber rate. So after every shot, it would be decreasing the amount of time in between the shots that you have. So with a level 1 bolt, the percentage has decreased from a 10% to a 7.5% increase. For level 2 bolt, 20% down to 13%, and for a level 3 bolt, 25% down to a 16%. So quite a drastic nerf to the Peacekeeper and the shotgun bolt attachment. Essentially what they're trying to do here is to penalize the player for missing their shots with the Peacekeeper, not allowing them to spray such a powerful weapon. Other two changes that came to the Wingman and Peacekeeper is that the Wingman and Peacekeeper availabilities have been reduced in all zone tiers. So essentially their drop rate has decreased. And with that comes the increase in drop rate for energy, ammo, and weapons. You're going to see less Peacekeepers and Wingmans, and more Havocs, Triple Takes, and Devotions. They then go on here to state that they did not make any changes to the P2020 or Mozambique, and that's because they want to maintain a power curve. And so what they mean by a power curve is that some weapons will be weaker and more common, while others are stronger and rare. This makes sense just given the nature of a Battle Royale game. You're going to have more common weapons. You're going to have more rare weapons. For example, the Mastiff and the Kraber, just being the most rare guns that you can have. They're also super powerful. That's why they're so rare. And then on the other end of the spectrum is the P2020 and the Mozambique. They're very common. You see them all over the place, and they're very weak. That's kind of the point. They say here that some weapons are intentionally less powerful until they're fully kitted with attachments and hop-ups, while others don't need all the attachments to be more powerful. So before we move on to the changes that they will be making to some of the Legends, we're going to cover a couple additional patch notes they've addressed. Throwing that on your screen right now, essentially it's just changing some occasional crashes that were happening when certain Legends were using certain abilities. Personally, haven't really experienced any of these crashes, but just want to make you guys aware of that. Next, they address how they plan to attack legend balancing. They've essentially stated that they have found that they have no problems with the 5 small and medium range characters, so that being characters like Wraith, Bloodhound, Bangalore, Mirage, Lifeline. In contrast, that they found that the large characters like Pathfinder, Gibraltar, and Caustic are drastically underpowered, and their natural size appears to be a large contributor to that. If you guys have not seen, the hitboxes for those 3 characters are just massive compared to that of the smaller characters. For example, Gibraltar's hitbox is 125% larger than Wraith's hitbox. That's just absolutely astronomical. Overall, what they say is that they want to increase the power of the larger characters while leaving the smaller characters the same. By increasing the power of the larger characters, it's just healthier for the game overall than nerfing the smaller characters, which I completely agree with. Curious what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. The last thing they have here in the patch notes is the adjustments that will be made to the legends at the start of Season 1. So first is the major hitbox changes. So hitbox size reductions for Caustic, Pathfinder, and Gibraltar. They state here that we're bettering sizing hitboxes to characters, gear, and model. Since these adjustments have major impact on the game, we want to make sure that there aren't any major bugs, so they don't want to rush them out. And if these adjustments prove to be insufficient, we'll consider additional adjustments during the season. And here are some minor changes for some of the legends. First with Caustic, reducing the cooldown time for his traps from 30 seconds to 25 seconds, increasing the radius of his traps by about 10%, and then removing the 1-second delay on the smoke dealing damage to players. So a little buff there for Caustic, for all you Caustic players out there. Next is Pathfinder. The only change for him comes to his passive ability, Insider Knowledge, and they're going to increase the number of beacons from 10 to 12 in the world. Nothing too crazy there. The next 3 are nerfs to probably the most common characters played. First is Lifeline. They removed the slight chance that level 4 armor and helmets will drop in her care package. Wraith's Into the Void ability cooldown time has been increased from 20 to 25 seconds. And Bangalore's double time passive ability speed boost has been reduced from 40% to 30%. So those are some of the nerfs to probably the 3 most played characters in the game right now. Curious to see what you guys think of those nerfs, as well as the buffs to Caustic and Pathfinder. I wouldn't really call Pathfinders that much of a buff. Let me know down in the comments below. And that's all there is for the patch notes today, you guys. Again, I want to thank you guys for stopping in. If you guys are enjoying the content going on in the background, I stream on Twitch every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's at twitch.tv/CaptainBigTuna. Link in the description below. Hope to see you there.
Oh my God. Hit him.
One's really weak, one's really weak.
Right side, go left guy, right side.
Yeah, he's on the right. Nice job, you guys. Good game, you guys. Good job.
Oh well.
You are the